FightSaga.com and Halftime Pizza proudly present WAWR Week Radio Chats with ring announcer and commentator Joseph Heron.
Guys, welcome. Happy Wednesday to all of you. Hope you guys are having a great week. The first week of May, getting ready for Cinco de Mayo weekend, even if you aren't Mexican. No, I know I am. I'll tell you what, Fiesta's in full swing in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm gearing up for Cinco de Mayo weekend. Looking forward to a great fight weekend in the colossal mismatch that is Canelo Alvarez and John Ryder. And there it is to hear a more optimistic point of view. Guys, it's my pleasure to introduce at this time my brother in arms, a true credit to the boxing business, the incomparable Brother JR from the Boxing Source. Jay, how you doing, my friend?
What's going on, Joseph?
Well, I tell you what, we have a lot to discuss, and I tell you what, guys, buckle up, but because I'm feeling rather salty this evening, right? Now I'm about to light up some colossal boneheads. Now, once again, we just did that to Teofimo Lopez on your show. And in case you guys missed it, I had the pleasure of conversing with Brother James on Monday, and it's still up. So, guys, please go check that out after this show. We already lit up Teo, and something tells me we're going to light him up a little bit more tonight, right? But, guys, buckle up. I'm going to light up some Ryan Garcia and give you guys the skinny. And once again, I already knew that this was going to happen. Him parting ways with Hall of Fame trainer Joe Goosen. And I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. Okay? Everything that I know now, post-fight, okay? Yeah, it's bad. Not good. Ryan Garcia, for being a self-proclaimed, humble, God-fearing Christian, well, he's not acting too humble, if you ask me. And once again, James, in this business, you're not going to get any better unless you are humble. Am I wrong?
Nope, won't get far.
Nope.
Won't get far in the sport.
Won't get far. I can tell you this, before we get into it, I can tell you this. If Tank Davis lost to anybody, do you really think he would sack Coach Calvin or Coach Kenny?
Not by a long shot.
Nope. They're in it together for life. And guys, you look at how much more proficient Tank Davis is in his career, right? Compared to Ryan Garcia, who completely ignores all the red flags thrown in his way. Completely. And I'll give you the skinny as to why he left Joe Goosen. And this tells me that he doesn't know a damn thing. And he's not going to improve unless he humbles himself. Right? Brother, if you pride yourself in reading scripture, well, read it again. Because humility, once again, is the key to your success. I tell you what, we're also going to speak about Canelo Alvarez. And a lot of guys actually bringing up the idea that, oh, is he still the face of boxing? Because this pay-per-view event, wow, it's going to be fortunate with piracy being what it is. They're going to be lucky to get over 300,000 purchases. We're going to talk about that. Are his critics correct? Well, we'll address that in a bit. Also, we're going to address and light a fire. Oh, we're going to light up Regis Prograis, current WBC, 140-pound titleist. And for good reason, James. And once again, we addressed this on your show briefly, but I'm going to tear into his ass. Once again, I know him. He's a great guy. But if you want to look for someone outside of Demetrius Andrade in notoriously making terrible business decisions, well, look no further than Regis Prograis. James, I'm going to ask you very simply, why on earth would he sign a 3-fight deal with Matchroom Sport?
Well, according to what he posted on Twitter, I guess a couple hours ago, I guess that hasn't been confirmed yet. He had I guess a little comment of sorts to Mr. Rick Meridian, who of course manages
Jose Ramirez. Yep, as well as several other fighters. He's one of the best managers in the business.
Yep. So, yeah, I kind of found his comments then fairly interesting, but I think this is kind of going into what I had talked with you about earlier today. So yeah, we got to get into that a little bit,
Well, let me tell you, from what I understand, and once again, I very dear friends with his trainer, one of the best trainers in boxing, one of the more underrated trainers in boxing, Bobby Benton, right? Very smart individual. And once again, congratulations to him in getting another titleist this year, Shockey Foster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just did a great interview with him. Guys, go check out the Boxing Source for that interview. Very well done, my friend. Very professional. Great questions. Everything was on point, my friend. But yeah, from what I understand, it's a done deal. 3-fight deal. 3-fight for what? To fight Stevie Sparks? To get your ass whooped by Richards and Hitchens? For little to no money? Well, we'll get into that in a bit. Also, we're going to give some accolades to Devin Haney. That's coming up, guys. And we'll address Deontay Wilder if we have time, guys. And we're going to try to make this a tight 60. So let's, James, if you don't mind, we're going to go through the roll call right now. And we want to thank you guys for joining us in this impromptu version of WAWR Week Radio Chats. I had to talk to you guys. It's sad for the soul, guys. Chicken soup for me. And also because Coach Ronnie couldn't do the show last night. No, neither of us could. So we wanted to make something up to you guys. So thank you guys. And I hope you guys are enjoying my virtual articles on our YouTube page. If you haven't seen them yet, please go check out the channel. And James, it was a no-brainer. And I can't believe I didn't think of this before. I have my own channel on the second largest search engine in the world behind Google. Right? YouTube. So why the hell am I publishing articles on other websites?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you.
So I just started doing virtual articles, and I'm going to continue doing that all week, every week. But let's give a shout out to our brother Adolfo Horta. Thank you for joining us, sir. He says, saludos, Joseph. I hope Coach Ronnie Shields. Yeah, unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it. But please stay optimistic. There's a very good chance he's going to be calling the fight with me this Saturday between Canelo and Ryder. How do you like that? Also want to give a shout out to our brother Round One. Thank you for joining us, sir, this evening. And Adolfo, I asked him, hey, could you please stick around anyway? Because Brother James is going to be here. We have a lot to discuss. And he says, of course, love your show. Thank you, brother. We love you as well. Also want to give a big shout out to my brother Jesus M. Saludos to you, brother. Hope you're gearing up for a great fight weekend in Guadalajara. Also want to give a big shout out to my brother G Funky Boxing. Guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to my brother G Funky. Always does great work. And he states this. Says, Joe, don't you know Regis is a shot caller? Everyone has to cross the street for Regis. Oh boy. And you know what, man? I will say this before we get into it. Excuse me. Yeah, I had some words for Fanon, that scallywag, that bullshit artist, right? The guy who claims to have a Harvard degree. Once again, he bullshits everything on his channel. So it wouldn't surprise me if he were bullshitting about a Harvard degree as well. This is a guy who says, oh man, Jose Ramirez has been ducking Regis for years. It's shameless. Yeah, I had to tell him what time it was. I'm like, look, dude, you have a lot of subscribers on your page. Okay? If you profess to understand the business of boxing, then damn it, you better learn more about the business of boxing. Okay? And quit bullshitting your audience. They deserve better. It's like they're thirsty for news and truth. Dude, give it to them. Give them some water instead of sand now. Right? Guys, we are here for you guys on this channel. That's why we're here. Right? We love you guys. You guys are the real bosses of boxing. And we are here for you. And you're not going to hear that level of bullshit on our channel. Neither James. Also, James, you broke the news on Monday regarding an event that, let me tell you, not even Coach Ronnie knew, right? When I talked to him. Would you like to break the news on my channel as well?
Well, folks, on July 9th in San Antonio, Texas, we will have, that's right, the WBA welterweight championship fight as Virgil Ortiz Jr., undefeated, takes on Iamanas Stanionis, the WBA welterweight champion, also undefeated. Yes, this is try number 3 to have this fight. Yes. So it'll be a summertime in San Antonio with a big bout there in the welterweight division between the two fighters well within the top 10 of the welterweight rankings, and will pretty much gauge, or it'll show like, okay, who is next, pretty much next in line to be one of those, serious contenders to be, at the top of the division, So
well, let's just be frank here, James. And once again, I love your optimism, brother. And didn't I tell you guys you're going to get a more optimistic edge with Brother James rather than the salty old Mr. Heron?
Well, I could be optimistic and I could be realistic too. So,
well, in boxing, yeah, realism is often interpreted as pessimism, and for good reason. We're not going to go into that. We could devote an entire show to that, right? And there are plenty of guys like Teddy Atlas and Steve Kim out there. We don't have to do it for them. But let's continue with the roll call before we move forward, Brother James. And once again, thank you for breaking the news on this channel. We really appreciate it. And guys, for more information, you can get the write-up on theboxingsource.com. Guys, once again, theboxingsource.com.
Well,
I'm sorry, as you were, James.
No, the boxingsource.net.
My apologies, brother. The boxingsource.net. My
Yep.
apologies, my friend. Is that how you were able to secure that awesome domain name?
Yeah.
And there you have it. And there you have it. So, guys, please support Brother James in the boxingsource.net. I stand corrected. Also want to give a shout out to my brother EJ Electrojed. How are you doing, my friend? Always great to hear from you. Always great to speak with you on your channel. I love it when you're on this channel as well. Unfortunately, we won't be on nearly as long this time. So we're going to have to wait on that. It's just going to be me and Brother JR at this time. But EJ, you're always a joy to share the air, man. And I hope you're doing well. God bless you, brother. And I hope you have fun at Haney versus Lomachenko on May 20th. Guys, if you must know, on May 20th, I'm currently working on a documentary because I'll be doing ring announcing duties on May 20th in San Antonio, just to show you guys what goes into preparation for ring announcing duties. Most people seem to think that it's the easiest gig that you can have in boxing. Well, hopefully the segment that I make for this channel and for you guys, hopefully it actually sheds some new light on the duties of being the ring announcer and all of the preparation that goes into it. Look forward to that. Also want to give a shout out to my brother. It's me, Pablo. Thank you for joining us, sir. And I hope you're gearing up for this Cinco de Mayo weekend with Canelo Alvarez and John Ryder. He says, hello, Joe. Do you think Eddie Reynoso will take Ryan back? Brother Jay, would you like that crack first?
Nope, he won't.
And why is that, my friend?
Well, going back to the whole thing that you were talking about with Ryan Garcia. You know, the way that he conducted himself during this preparation of sorts against Gervonta Tank Davis.
Yep.
You know, is one thing about like showing the level of professionalism and things like that. But he kind of he handled this the wrong way big time. And it kind of like looked like it was like that ever since there were talks that the fight was seriously going to happen.
Yep.
Because, you know, I had basically knew about the fight happening back in like late November, early December.
Mm-hmm.
But that was when it was supposed to be originally scheduled for
January. Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't go through in January. And of course, Tank Davis had his fight with Hector Luis Garcia. And so Ryan Garcia had the opportunity to have a fight in the interim against Mercedes Gesta. Now, if they had all of those, you know, negotiations and stipulations and everything worked out way beforehand, that could have probably been his opportunity to get himself in fight shape, to get himself down in weight and not really, you know, have a quote unquote fat camp, which that ended up being what he did in preparation for Tank Davis. He could have had that point where he could have at least been down to, like, say, you want to fight at Mercedes Gesta at 138. Cool. You could have had that. That way, you could have worked yourself down then, had your fight, and then still would have been right back in camp, so you wouldn't have had to worry about doing all this weight cut. You would have been focusing on what to do against Gervonta Tank Davis with a guy that's a 2023 International Boxing Hall of Fame inductee.
Yep.
In Joe Goosen.
Yep.
Nope, he didn't want to do that.
One of the best trainers in boxing. And you know what, James? We're going to get into that, brother. We're going to talk all about that. And I'm going to give you guys a skinny on how Ryan conducted himself throughout camp, right? And his misnomers or, well, his, Well, like in my opinion, guys, he is right there neck and neck with Teofimo Lopez in terms of being delusional and misinformed, right? And he has, just like Teofimo, lots of very wise boxing minds around him, and he chooses not to listen. I tell you what, brother, opportunities are wasted on the ignorant, and you in boxing, boy, youth is definitely wasted on the youth these days. Because let me tell you, yeah, he's batting currently maybe $162 if he were a major league batter right now in terms of hitting the mark. And I'm going to explain further. Let me just finish roll call real quick, and we'll get into this, Brother Jay. Also want to give a shout out to my brother across the pond. Cheers, Miss Aaron. Cheers to you, brother. Thank you for joining us here today. We always appreciate seeing you on the chat. God bless you, brother. Jesus M also has this to say. Oh, man. Coach Joe Goosen was pumping over hyping Ryan. Something was suspicious. This was a one-off all along. Cash in. No way Ryan is more talented than Joel Casamayor or Diego Corrales. Those legends that Joe trained. No one would ever dispute that, my friend. But it wasn't a one-off. Not in the mind of Joe Goosen. Well, I'll clarify in a bit. Thank you for joining us, my friend. And thank you for the comment. Always very insightful, Jesus. God bless you, brother. I also want to give a shout out to my brother Tip Bayless. Thank you for joining us, my friend. And thank you for also joining us on Jay's channel, The Boxing Source. We really appreciated that on Monday.
Yep.
Yeah. I hope you're still not thinking that Jamal Charlo is ducking Demetrius Andrade. We'll get into that in a bit. We're also going to talk about Jaime Munguia if we have time. So let's get on with it. Our main event of the evening is going to be Mr. Ryan Garcia, right? Who, guys, this week sacked Hall of Fame trainer Joe Goosen, right? Yeah, and I'll give you the skinny on this, guys. James, you knew something was up, right? When he spent more time with his conditioning coach, as well as his Instagram page and his followers over there, instead of being at the 10 Goose Gym in Van Nuys, California. Right?
Jeez.
You have the opportunity to spend time with one of the sport's greatest living mentors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you choose to spend it with your Instagram followers? Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you, Joe Goosen, okay? He only trained with Joe Goosen 2 days out of the week leading up to the biggest fight of his entire career against a guy who has a very high ring IQ, especially as well as power that can put you on your ass for good. Does that sound too smart, James?
Not a good look there by Ryan Garcia, especially when you know that so much is on the line, you know, for you. It's not, you know, this whole thing. I know that they, you know, promoted it as, you know, one of those big fights and things like that, as far as like the whole social media thing and whatnot. But this was Ryan Garcia's opportunity to say, hey, I should be in the conversation as one of those guys that's one of the better young guys there within those divisions. Like people were talking about Tank Davis, people were talking about Shakur Stevenson, people were talking about Devin Haney, but they weren't mentioning Ryan Garcia. And Ryan Garcia is a guy that had, you know, came up in the amateurs, had defeated Devin Haney a couple times in the amateurs. But, you know, once he got in as the pros, he had the whole mix with, you know, doing the whole IG thing and whatever and whatnot. So people just felt like he was just a, you know, a social media fighter or whatever it is. Almost like the Jake Paul level type thing. But here in this particular matchup, he could have stepped up and he could have tried to prove himself against Tank Davis. And you know what? After he got hit with that left hand counter in the second round, yeah,
shit got real very quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure did for him. So,
yeah, very, very good points, James, across the board. And once again, brother, and from what I understand, right? And I'm not going to tell you who told me. I'll tell you off the air, James. But not on a recorded line.
Right.
Ryan took great exception and thought Joe wasn't earning his check because he wasn't working pads for Mijo in the ring. He had someone else do it. Guys, let me tell you, pad work is a concoction that was made popular over the last 30 years, maybe. Guys, legendary trainers in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, they never used pads. Do you know who popularized using mitts as a training tool with his fighters? That was Emmanuel Stewart, guys. Before he did it, no one did it. No one used to work pads with their fighters. Joe Goosen with Joel Casamayor, just like Jesus M brought up. Diego Corrales. Everyone else. Michael second to none. The Ruelas brothers. He never worked mitts with them. How did their careers turn out? Well, not Michael second to none. Once again, that's another story entirely that has nothing to do with Joe Goosen. And I'll give you the skinny on this because I'm feeling salty enough. And I shouldn't say this on the air, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. Guys, if you didn't know, Michael J. Fox, right, who has Parkinson's. Okay, and yes, you know, it's natural to feel sorry for that gentleman. He has Parkinson's. But you know what? Every villain gets their comeuppance. Okay, and Michael Nunn would never say this publicly, but this is the truth. How long was Michael Nunn in the Who's Gal for selling drugs? James, do you know?
Man, it had to have been a long time. It had to be about, 15?
Over 2 decades. Right? They made it, the feds made an example out of him because he wouldn't roll over on the guy he was muling for. Guys, that gentleman was none other than Michael J. Fox. Yes, that is the gospel truth. You heard it here. That is the God's honest truth, guys. He was a co-manager from Michael second to none. And he also got him, hey, you want to make some extra money? And so he went to the Who's Gal because he wouldn't roll over on Alex P. Keaton. There's the truth. Boy, Joe Goosen hates his guts now.
Yeah.
And there you have it. Michael second to none, once again, greatness, all that potential not realized. And now you've got an ass clown like Ryan Garcia, who is merely, what does he think he's going to do? What does he think? What is he thinking? Like, and once again, Devin Haney, I've got to give him props. He recently came out in an interview with a YouTuber. And once again, he's doing the right thing. But with a guy who wouldn't know a left hook from a fish hook. Right? And he's saying, look, man, you perform in the ring like you train. You can't just half-ass it in the gym and hope to put forth your best performance. That's the same in every profession, but especially boxing. Boxing is very unflattering. The truth comes to you very quickly in the squared circle if you didn't do everything you should have in preparation for that big fight. And let me ask you something, James.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really think Ryan Garcia was going to add those new wrinkles to his fight game, only spending 2 days a week with Joe Goosen?
Oh no, but I mean, it wasn't just that. I mean, like, just 2 days a week with Joe Goosen. Now, the other thing that got me was you didn't have your last fight until what was that, June or July? There against
Javier Fortuna.
Javier Fortuna.
Yep.
You had all of that time where you could have been right back in camp.
That's it.
To be there with Joe Goosen, right?
Yep.
And
that's
like,
it.
Only basically like half-ass it, so to speak, or whatever it is. Then do two day a week training sessions with Joe Goosen and expect him to have do pad work with you. Now, if Joe Goosen didn't do pad work with Joel Casamayor, with Michael Nunn, and Diego Corrales all those years ago, what makes you think that he's gonna do that at his age right now? Come on, man.
I love it, Brother Jay. And you know what? All valid points. And once again, dude, did you think that this was just going to magically happen? Were you buying into the bullshit that Oscar De La Hoya was feeding your ass? Brother? I'm going to read you something, James.
Uh-huh.
This is something I just posted, right?
Okay.
Oh, boy. Chinga. Let me pull it up, man. It's in my Twitter feed. And this is from Michael Benson, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Because I don't follow Ryan Garcia. I know I probably should, being a member of the media, but I really don't. I can't stand hearing the delight of teeny boppers who don't know shit about boxing, right? And look, let's just okay, let me read this first, brother, and then I'm about to go off.
Uh-huh.
This is what Ryan Garcia said, reflecting on the Gervonta Davis defeat on Instagram today, right? He said this, quote, "Sometimes things don't go your way, but that doesn't mean you should lose faith. Just because the world around you may be losing faith, that shouldn't discourage you. No matter the distractions that come, I learned a lot from this fight, and my eyes have been open to a lot of things, and for that, I'm grateful. Be prepared for my next move, because I'm not stopping. I'm just getting started." Wait a minute. You're not stopping. Stopping what? Spending more time with your conditioning coach than you are with a real boxing guy like Joe Goosen? Not spending more time sparring? Because I tell you what, jackass, if you think that the mole in your camp was the reason why you lost, then boy, you don't know shit. You don't know shit, because Gervonta Davis, boy, he put you in checkmate as early as round number 2. What the hell? God, dude, Eddie Reynoso, Joe Goosen, Emmanuel Stewart could come back from the grave, and they can't fight for you, brother. You fight like you train, you jackass. Are you getting this, Ryan? because it's coming out in article form tomorrow. I can guarantee you that. 2 days a week with the legend, Joe Goosen, one of the smartest boxing minds today. Spend more time with your conditioning coach, juggling ropes and jumping on boxes than with that guy. Spending more time with your conditioning coach than you are in the ring. Right? How's that going to beat Tank Davis?
It's not.
Jackass. That's all I have to say. Well, no, that's not all I have to say. But yeah, I'm just getting started, brother. James, your thoughts on King Ryan's reflection? Oh, mijo, you lost. It's all right. The sun will rise again tomorrow, mijo. That's okay. Look, everyone still loves you on Instagram. Brother James? Okay, currently he's enjoying $30 million at least right now from the event that he just had. In your mind, knowing what you know now, can he look forward to those kind of paydays in the future?
Definitely not. Definitely not. And you brought up something there that's key, right? Is that that particular fight was so successful that it affects the value of both fighters.
Yep.
Right? So the next fight going forward for both of them, win or lose, they really have to figure out, okay, what is their overall value at? Okay. Now we know that Tank Davis has, a formula. They have a formula with Tank Davis and how they worked out their deal for pay-per-view. So they pretty much like had that set or whatever it is. So they will likely follow that same, that same set and not really go that far off. But for Ryan Garcia now, regardless of who his next opponent is going to be, okay, what are they going to say he's worth? Because I know that you've seen it in, these conversations and these discussions. Oh, Ryan Garcia is the reason why Tank Davis's events went from 250 something pay-per-view buys to over 1 million. No, you can't really go like that, because if he sees that and it gets to his head like that, then he's going to overvalue himself. And it doesn't matter who his next opponent is going to be. If he asks for an astronomical figure, yeah, that ain't gonna work for him. So yeah, all of this talk about, okay, keeping the faith, doing this, doing that. All right, you got your wake-up call against Gervonta Tank Davis. Now we want to see if you really about the business here in the boxing game or not. Because, hey, you might have bitten off a little bit more than you can chew with Tank Davis, but we still got to see you against these other fighters.
Brother,
like you are saying that you want to be amongst that caliber of fighters, then we got to see it.
Tell you what, with that much time in the gym, okay, him switching trainers, sacking Joe Goosen,
okay,
for something as pathetic as, oh, well, he wasn't working mitts with me. Dude, do you really think Eddie Reynoso and his swimming noodles are going to be any better? Brother, you look at the ideology. That's the reason why he left Eddie Reynoso in the first place. He's a defensive-minded counterpuncher. That's what he professes. That's what he teaches. He can't teach you to be more assertive. And if you need to add that new wrinkle to your fight game, one, it's not going to come magically. Nope. That's going to take a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in the gym. And a lot more hours than just 2 days a week. And two, well, they can't fight for you.
Certainly can't.
And so, I'm sorry, as you were, Brother James.
You know what? It's funny. It's funny. It's funny, right? Because y'all hear this situation here with Ryan Garcia and Joe Goosen, and him basically being with Joe Goosen for 2 days a week. The funny thing is, the reason, pretty much for me, the reason why Ryan Garcia left Eddie Reynoso in the first place was because he didn't get enough time with Eddie Reynoso.
Oh, mijo.
Alvarez, not when he had Andy Ruiz Jr., not when he had Oscar Valdez, not when he had Frank Sanchez Foray at the time. So you go to another coach, another trainer, another Hall of Fame trainer, and you mean to tell me that you can only muster 2 days out the week to be with him? All right.
Oh, mijo. Oh. Are you going to start training in your living room like your hero, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., in your underwear? Is that the solution, brother? Because apparently you seem to know more than all of these great boxing minds around you. Jackass. And the reason for his loss in his mind is that, I had a mole in my camp. A prospect that only has 6 professional fights. And he injured me to the ribs. Shame on him. Jackass. Brother, you're a mental midget. And unless you humble yourself and start learning from the smart people around you, you will never grow as a prize fighter or a person. Dude, did you hear his dad and him laughing about losing? Oh, no, he's in great spirits. Oh, he's fine. You know what? In fact, he went out clubbing the following day. Oh, he's fine. He just didn't want to move forward because he didn't want to take any more punishment because of the injury. Brother, you will never learn. You will never be a freaking warrior, a Spartan. You'll never. Like, keep in mind, the only reason why people threw down their gold, right? Threw down their 2 bits for that pay-per-view is because they believed in Ryan Garcia. How's that looking right now?
Yeah, like bear in mind the whole thing with the odds for that particular fight. Like the odds for that was, fairly close. I mean, at least closer than I was.
And why was that?
Like you said, they believed in Ryan Garcia.
Yep, everyone has officially jumped off the Ryan Garcia Express, and now, woo, you're on the delusional express, brother, with Teofimo Lopez and Regis Prograis. Congratulations.
Man.
Congratulations, brother. You are on the delusion express. Brother, do you want to shovel some more bullshit or do you want to quit while you're ahead? Because everything now that comes out of your mouth is dog shit. Dog shit, brother. You're an embarrassment to the sport. The warriors that came before you, even your promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, man, he was a warrior inside that ring. And let me tell you, even though he partied and put on high heels and fishnets in between fights, let me tell you, in camp, man, he was a workhorse. That guy was a badass in the gym. And no one will be able to take that away from him. He will have that until he is gone. Right? Can Ryan Garcia say the same thing? You're a joke, brother. And honestly, when you sacked Joe Goosen and tried to think like, he just wasn't the right man for the job. Screw yourself, brother. And honestly, Bernard Hopkins said something. He said, you know what, who would be the perfect fit? In a recent interview, he said this, right? He said this about my brother Ronnie Shields. He said, Bernard said, you know what, who would be a perfect fit for Ryan Garcia right now? Would be Ronnie Shields. One, because of his experience as a fighter, his experience as a world-class trainer. He is really, really exceptional in this business, dealing with egos and personalities. He's got great world-class sparring in his Sugar Land, Texas gym. And most importantly, he doesn't have a lot of 140-pound fighters competing in his gym right now. Bernard said that. All-time great. The executioner, B-Hop. But I tell you what, knowing what I know, what do you think I told Ronnie?
he told him, stay away from Ryan Garcia.
This guy is a prima donna little bitch, right? In the immortal words of James Gogi, he's a little bitch. And you know what? James Gogi, and shame on me for actually riding that wave of being right for once when Gogi was incorrect on the Zhili Zhang fight. I was like, you know what? I think Gogi's wrong again. I think this fight's going to be more competitive. I didn't know what I know now, right? If I had known that back then, I would say, you know what, Gogi, you see it spot on. Your 5 decades in the business tells you that you're right. Shame on me for not believing in Gogi and understanding that he's right 99% of the time. And when he's incorrect in his assessment, boy, that's a very, very rare endeavor. So once again, unlike Ryan Garcia, I'm learning from my mistakes. Right? Like every fighter, they will say after a loss, oh, you know what? I'll learn from this. James, do you think Ryan Garcia is going to learn from this after what you know now and hearing his latest commentary on Instagram?
Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. I mean, it's it's disappointing, in a sense, because, if I would have known all this stuff beforehand or before going to the fight, then I would have been like, now I kind of know why, at the very least, that Goosen wasn't in attendance for that post-fight pressure.
Yep.
So the thing is, it's like Ryan Garcia just looked like he just wanted to make it to April 22nd. And then once he made it to April 22nd, once he, weighed under 136 pounds and whatever it was, then he was like, hey, I'm set. I did what I needed to do. That's it.
That's it. That's it, brother. You hit the nail right on the head. Okay. And once again, when you go back and look at that event, pay-per-view, right? Go back and look at the video. Listen to what Joe Goosen is telling him. Is there any wonder that he didn't listen to a damn thing that he said throughout the entire fight? He's like, look, brother, this fight is actually a lot easier if you choose to use your height and your reach to your advantage. Boxing from mid to long range, damn it. What are you doing? What are you doing smothering your own offense and then giving him, the target counterpuncher, plenty of targets to feast on? What are you doing? I don't give a shit if you think it's uneventful. You play, in the immortal words of Dennis Green, God rest his soul, you play to win the game.
Wait. That was Herman Edwards that said,
Oh my gosh, you're right. That was Herman Edwards with the Jets, wasn't it?
Yes. Hello.
Oh my gosh.
To
Yes,
win
yes.
the game.
Once again, just like Dennis Green, very underrated, brilliant football mind. Herman Edwards, former Philadelphia Eagle.
Well, maybe you can quote the words of Dennis Green when it comes to Ryan Garcia. It says, Ryan Garcia is who he thought he was.
Woo! And we let him off the hook. And yeah, by purchasing that damn pay-per-view and thinking that it was going to be a competitive fight. Yeah, we let him off the hook. Fool me once, jackass. Until I see you doing something different, yes, you are going to remain who we think you are. Okay, so go ahead and join the club of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. because that's all you are right now. You're popular on social media, but you aren't shit in the ring, brother. You're a guy who's been living off of and shame on you for not making the most of your athletic gifts.
Uh-oh.
Because once again, he professes faith. Oh, and he reads scripture and he's a God. You know what? Then shame on you. And I wish I could cuss more on this channel, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to pull a James Gogi, but I want to. You know, shame on you, man, for squandering the opportunity because these don't come often at all. James?
Yeah.
How often does this happen for fighters to get this opportunity on this stage?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, like this sport, boxing, is a sport of the haves and the have-nots.
Yep.
Okay, you look at how many champions there are. And let me tell you, becoming a world champion is very, very difficult. But what's even more difficult is becoming a mainstream attraction and a box office draw. And you squandered both, you jackass. Brother, tell you what, I'm saving my interest now for the real fighters. The guys who want to put in the time. Once again, to quote Devin Haney, you fight like you train. And if you think I'm taking Vasyl Lomachenko, a first ballot Hall of Famer, if you think I'm taking him lightly because he's 35 now, well, you're sadly mistaken. I've got an entire team devoted to my cause, and we're studying every single trend that Lomachenko has that he does well and doesn't do well. And we're going to prepare ourselves for the best version of Vasyl Lomachenko. Did you see anything that was reminiscent of that when Ryan Garcia fought Gervonta Davis?
Nope.
Now, with someone as cool and as kind as Joe Goosen, yeah, it's still understandable that he didn't show up for the post-fight press conference. That was embarrassing, brother.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are my final thoughts on Ryan Garcia. Now that we've eaten up the entire hour, Chingao. Well, at least I didn't drop any F-bombs. I wanted to. But I tell you what, let's give a big shout out to my brother H Money. I've had this comment up for the entire time. Joseph, David Morrell will knock out Benavidez. You know what, brother? He thinks so. Ronnie Shields thinks so. And you know what? He very well may. He is so athletically gifted. And he is improving with every fight. Dave Morrell Jr. is a freak of nature, guys. He's only 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And sky's the limit for this kid. Once again, he's got like 2 or 3 fights left at 168. And at 175, yeah, he is so good, guys. Look for him to be the next big star of boxing. It's undeniable. Now, that's a guy who is a disciplined machine. He's not on social media. Nope. He's in it for the long game. He's in it. This is what he does. This is his profession, damn it. He's not a social media darling. He couldn't care less about that. That's up to his promoters and his managers. He is all about respecting their investment and not embarrassing them on the big stage. Did he embarrass them on that night, April 22nd?
Certainly not.
Man, I felt bad for Yamaguchi Felciao. He made him look like a geriatric fighter, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Like, just about every one of those punches had Morrell handed.
Oh my gosh, man. He was a typhoon that night.
Yeah.
And he couldn't miss.
Yeah.
And he wasn't there to be countered. That's the thing. That's the reason why I agree with H Money. He's not going to be there to be countered effectively. It's like, dude, if you're flat-footed and you depend on being flat-footed for your power and speed, best of luck with Dave Morrell Jr. He's going to hit you and spin around you and force you to reset. Best of luck. You better hope you get Canelo before W.A.W, or you're in trouble, brother.
Oh,
final thoughts on this. Final thoughts on everything, James, before we move forward to Canelo this weekend, brother.
Well, on that thing there with David Morrell Jr., yes, he takes this thing very seriously. And like I said, that first round knockout victory over Yamaguchi Falcao, he showed that he really means business there in the super middleweight division. And yes, he did call out David Benavidez, who was in attendance there at the T-Mobile Arena. And yes, I wouldn't mind seeing that fight real soon. But given that I have talked with, multiple people within, the promotional game for Benavidez, and also his father and trainer, Jose Benavidez Sr., they're going to wait a little bit on, seeing if that fight goes forward or if that fight goes through. But they have a plan for David Benavidez.
Of course. Are you surprised, brother?
They're going to follow through with that plan. And actually, I'm kind of interested to see what happens with David Benavidez from this point, because remember, he did score that big win over Caleb Plant in a pay-per-view event. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he looked impressive doing it. And despite Kenny Bayless, despite all the excessive holding, he took over that fight in the second half.
Yep.
And whooped his ass. And you know what? There was not a damn thing that Caleb Plant could do about it.
Nope.
Not a thing. If you don't have the power to hurt David Benavidez, well, you're in trouble. This guy's a machine. And if he doesn't have your respect by midway through the fight, you are in serious trouble. The hand speed, the accuracy, the power, the aggressiveness. Dude, he's going to whoop your ass. Now, let me ask you, brother. Do you think he's going to have that same fervor against either Canelo or Dave Morrell Jr.?
Nah. He'll have a certain level of confidence, but he'll be wary of what is coming back to him from a Canelo Alvarez or from a David Morrell Jr. because he knew with Caleb Plant what came back to him wasn't going to be enough to really affect him like that. But against a Canelo and against a David Morrell Jr., it ain't gonna be like that. And G Fucky, I don't know, he might have the beat on this one, man. Getting the he getting the source there from the promoter there of Samson Boxing, Mr. Samson Lukowitz. He looks like they said if no Canelo, then Morrell is next.
Well, look. And once again, talk is cheap. And I love Samson. He's a straight shooter. He's a great guy. He is a great guy and has a distinctive eye for talent. Like, here's a story, right? My mentor, Don Warwick Chargan. This is why we named. He taught me everything I know about the business, right? No, I didn't have to go to Harvard for it either. Right? I just had to shut the fuck up and listen. Oh, shit. There it is. The first F-bomb. My apologies. I just had to shut up and listen. Ryan Garcia, if you're listening, that's how you learn. You shut up and you do what you're told from the great boxing minds that have been through it all. Everything I know about this business and about the sport. 20 years in. Dude, when I first got into this business, started writing, I thought I was hot shit because I was a journalist, damn it. Okay, upon doing interviews and speaking, picking the brains of great men who have been through this. Guys like James Gogi, guys like Ronnie Shields, guys like Abel Sanchez, guys like Joe Goosen, guys like Emmanuel Stewart, guys like Don Chargan. I quickly understood, ascertained that I didn't know shit. Shut up and listen. Do what you're told. You might not understand it at first, but you will, and you better know that this comes from decades of experience. Jackass. Anyway, that's the theme, the ongoing theme for this show, guys. Ryan Garcia is wasted talent. He's been given God-given gifts that most fighters don't have the luxury of having, right? You talk to a workhorse like Jesse James Leija, a guy who made the most of his limited athletic gifts. Boy, and he did it. He worked his ass off to become 3-time super featherweight champion, beating legend Azuma Nelson, right? Ryan Garcia would piss his pants with a guy who can fight and who can punch like Azuma Nelson. He wouldn't just show up to your fight for a paycheck. He wouldn't do what Javier Fortuna did. Boy, he would fight your ass and have his head buried right in your chest from start to finish.
Yep.
And you would know after 15 rounds, 12 rounds, that you were in a fight. Anyway, man, dude, I can't. I hate this because once again, I surround myself with fighters, right. Hardworking fighters, right? Guys who don't have the athletic gifts that Ryan has been blessed with. And they are doing everything they can at the club level, at the regional level, at the world-class level to make the most with their opportunities. And this jackass just squanders it.
It's right there in front of him.
Oh, well. Well, I tell you what, it's going to be a very long time before it's right there in front of him again. So congratulations. Don't spend it all in one place because you're not getting that again, brother. And after the perception that he quit on his ass, right? He quit. It's even in the mind of Canelo. Brother, you got to get up, suck it up, and follow through with the fight, even if you doubt yourself, even if you feel that you can't go on. Push forward. Okay? You got to persevere over adversity. That's how champions are made. That's how winning is done. Anyway, man, I need to change the topic. I could go hours bashing this piece of shit. Right? I could go hours, brother. So let's go to the next one on the I'll give you your choice, right?
All right.
Do you want to talk about Regis Prograis signing with Eddie Hearn?
Okay. I'll run that.
Well, let's do it, brother. Go ahead. Your thoughts on Regis Prograis being a done deal, signing a 3-fight deal with Matchroom Sports.
Now, I mean, it's very disappointing to me. Not because of what the level of opponents or what could be available for him there at Matchroom, but multiple people know that there are better options at Top Rank or at Heyman Boxing, PBC, TGB promotions. Okay, now add on to the fact that you as a fighter that is among the top fighters at the 140-pound division that have talked about fighting multiple guys within 140 that you don't have a chance or that you didn't have the chance to fight at some certain points. Okay. You now have this open opportunity. You have been, as Joseph had said, one guy that has really had some real questionable decisions when it comes to business and when it comes to so now you have this open opportunity to say, hey, look, I'm at the 140-pound division, which to me is probably the deepest or the second deepest division in boxing. Okay?
Holy shit. Yep.
Now, with all of those fighters that are, at Top Rank, all of those fighters that are, with PBC, Heyman Boxing, TGB, you make the decision to go to Matchroom. Okay. Now, business is a business. Okay. They have a certain guarantee that you may like. Cool. But as a guy that has the amount of charisma that Regis Prograis has and has had over multiple years, you want to go ahead and prove yourself against these other fighters. Now, brother Jesus, brings up a question. Regis can still fight top ranked guys up to a certain point, but here's the thing, okay? You're Regis Prograis, and you have a certain level of, say, price point. Right?
That's it.
So whether you're with Matchroom, whether you're with Top Rank, or whether you're with anybody, you have a certain price point that you want to be paid in order to fight certain guys. Okay.
Yep.
Now, Regis Prograis is coming off of a fight where it had to go to purse bid in order for him to fight for that at the time vacant WBC title. Now it's like he has to find himself to find out what he's worth. And to go back to what you were talking about on Twitter with Fanon and this whole back and forth thing with Jose Ramirez, right? Now, I listen, him versus Prograis versus Ramirez has been one of the more anticipated bouts that I would have liked to have seen there at 140 for some time.
Yep.
But as you say, it's business.
Yep.
And when you know what Jose Ramirez gets, and when you know what Regis Prograis gets or asks for, sometimes those particular fights, you can't just make them out of the blue. No, you just can't do that.
Well, look, and once again, you hit the nail around the head, and all very valid points, my friend. All very valid points. Great points. And once again, when they were talking about fighting, Regis Prograis was a champion with no promoter virtually,
Right.
no TV dates,
Right.
no crowd, no fan base.
Exactly.
And he's 34. Brother, what the hell are you doing signing with Eddie Hearn when he's got no TV dates in the U.S. market? What are you hoping you get your ass whooped by Richardson Hitchens? Are you hoping to fight Stevie Sparks?
Like,
are you hoping to fight Montana Love? Because that's the best you're going to get, brother, in those 3 fights.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? He could have fought someone around that same level. He didn't really have to fight like like I said, a Jose Ramirez or
brother,
like a Josh Taylor.
He could have fought the winner of Josh Taylor Teofimo Lopez in his first fight with Top Rank.
He could have, yes.
And once again, it's ignorance. Brother, if you think that the gravy train is still rolling at Matchroom on DAZN, think again. That came to a screeching halt last year.
But
the only fighters that Eddie Hearn is paying handsomely is Canelo Alvarez and Anthony Joshua. The only 2 fighters he has that moves the needle on the mainstream level. Why do you think Matchroom Sport has made a conscious effort to invest in the little men of boxing who are grossly underpaid and women?
Yep.
Because it's a more cost-effective product.
Yep.
You idiot. So, woo-woo! Climb aboard the Teofimo Lopez Delusional Express. You're right there, brother, with Ryan Garcia and Teofimo Lopez. So I tell you what, you can criticize me and you can say a lot of things about me, but 1, I don't mince my words. And 2, boy, I mean what I say. And I say what I mean, quite literally.
Yeah,
So do you think maybe that's why I haven't gotten more highly profiled commentary or ring announcing gigs? Because, brother,
yeah, still there, Joe. Hold up, Joe. Looks like I don't know. Joe may have got like a little bit of a disconnect there. Yeah, you want to be as real as possible, in this game. You got a lot of instances where people are kissing some backsides. So, you know what I'm saying? That is not
can you hear me now, brother? Can you hear me now? I just put on my hotspot. I always have this nearby. Okay. It's the one I use to DJ with, right?
Right.
So I always carry this now because, and once again, don't like to smoke in the house, so I always do the show outside. I know I shouldn't. I know I should do the show in my office, but damn it, I like to have a cocktail and I like to have a cigarette while we do the show. And there it is.
No,
there it is. But I will say this though. I will say this. Regis Boy, you really screwed the pooch, brother. You're 34 and climbing. How much time do you still think you have in this sport? It's a business, brother. It's a business. Damn it. Start listening to the smart people around you like Bobby Benton and Ronnie Shields. Brother, they're just not blowing smoke up your ass. What do they have to gain?
Right.
Right? Think about this, brother. What do they have to gain from telling you, giving you all of their pearls of wisdom? Nothing. It's to your benefit. Listen to those guys. Because I guarantee you, no one wanted you to sign with Eddie Hearn. No one. Because what opportunities are you going to have? You're right there with Demetrius Andrade and Devin Haney when he was signed with Eddie Hearn. Okay? Oh my gosh, this is so disappointing, dude. And once again, I really like Regis. I've been a part of his career, either calling his fights when he was fighting on Lou Savary's fight cards or writing about his career when no one else wanted to. Okay, I've been in his corner the entire time, the last 15 years. And this guy has consistently made the wrong business decision for the best interest of his career. Brother, this is a business. If you're like Ryan Garcia, praying to the Holy Trinity and hoping that things turn out well, brother, you've got to be proactive. It doesn't just magically happen. It's contingent upon you making the right decisions. Ching Yao, dude. Honestly, dude, I could devote an entire week of rants on the delusional prize fighter, right? Ching Yao. So anyway, your final thoughts on Regis Prograis. Because really, he really screwed up big time this time.
Goes through with this, he basically wasted a year and a half of his career.
If he's lucky. He's lucky. Brother, how many events does Eddie Hearn stage in the U.S. market?
Yeah, not very many. Even with this whole little announcement of DAZN saying they re-up whatever they re-up. Yeah. But still, like, what are you gonna have? Like events in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or something, or I don't know, somewhere in Iowa or something.
Yeah, you know what, brother, and you know what, and I hate to say that, and you're right on the money, because Regis is a great guy. He deserves better. But damn it, listen to the smart people around you. What's the matter with you? Shit. Dude. Just like Teofimo Lopez. Listen to the smart people around you. Listen to the guys at Top Rank. Listen to your manager, David McWaters. Listen to the brass at ESPN. Okay? Oh, I brought Bud Light. Screw yourself and your Bud Light. You freaking alcoholic. Shit. Dude, you know what? I need to quit while I'm ahead. I'm just going off and like I've got no filter right now. So anyway, I look and now upon retrospect, I can't believe I even told you guys the Michael J. Fox story. Holy shit. I spilled the beans on Marty McFly.
Yep.
Jeez. I can't believe I did that on the air. Oh, well, it's going to stay up. You're not going to see me take down this show because it is 100% true. But I will say this. Thank you, my brother, Sly Tendencies. for being here, my friend. For dropping the $2 chat, brother. I really appreciate it, my friend. And once again, you've always been very supportive of WAWR Week Radio. Even if you don't agree with what we say. And once again, you're in good company if you don't agree with everything that someone says, right? The only person that I've agreed with in everything that he stated is our Savior and Lord Jesus Christ. That's it. Everyone else, though, yeah, it's healthy, right? It means you can think for yourself. And he says this, but Joe, Eddie Hearn fans say Eddie is a genius. Well, I will say this. He is a great promoter in the UK. But he doesn't know shit about the U.S. market. He doesn't know shit about the U.S. market. Like, think about this, James, and this is a perfect segue into Canelo Alvarez, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a great homecoming, but how much is a site fee, a gate, going to be in Guadalajara, Mexico, compared to Vegas, or even Dallas, Texas, or even San Antonio, Texas, or even New York City, or even LA? How much is that gate going to be worth?
Nowhere near what they got in Dallas, Texas.
Nowhere near anywhere else, brother. And once again, you're fighting John Ryder, an opponent that no one knows or no one gives a shit about on this side of the Atlantic. He's a tough guy.
Yeah.
And he deserves this opportunity.
Yes.
He's put in the time. He has worked his ass off to get this opportunity. Ryan Garcia, are you listening? But I tell you what, that doesn't change the idea that no one cares. No one gives a shit about this fight.
Nope.
So if you're asking yourself, is it just me? Or is there just no buzz around this Canelo Alvarez fight? A guy who earned last year $110 million, according to Forbes. No, you're not imagining things, guys. No one is buzzing about this fight. Why? One, because it's in Mexico. How many mainstream media outlets from America are going to be in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico?
Listen.
Zilch. Zero. And how many guys?
I use my passport. I use my global entry card. None of that. I'm going to do it.
Nope. I'll tell you what, and don't be shocked if David Benavidez and Samson Lukowicz aren't there either. Because this is the perfect opportunity to go and make some noise at a Canelo Alvarez event. But you know what? Don't be shocked if they're not there. Because this event sucks ass. Oh, but it's in front of 50,000 people. 50,000 people who are paying in pesos, brother. Shit. Oh, Eddie Hearn, you're a genius. Oh, yeah, the game changed. My ass, brother. Go back to the UK, brother, where you belong and where you actually know the market. Because you don't know feces about the market in North America. That's why you signed Danny Jacobs. That's why you signed Demetrius Andrade. That's why you signed Devin Haney and overpaid them, as well as Mikey Garcia, as well as Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Yep.
You overpaid those pussies for what? Did that bring you any additional subscribers? Huh? Did it? The gravy train's over, brother. DAZN? Yeah, they're only interested in two fighters that you have. Canelo Alvarez, if the matchup is right, and Anthony Joshua, if the matchup is right. And let me ask you this. In the hand of Eric Botcher, veteran matchmaker, and Eddie Hearn are his two prize fighters, his two superstars. Are their most recent matchups anything to write home about? Is it pay-per-view worthy, James?
Nope. I would have. Well, that's right. They're not.
Come on, brother, dude. Let that no filter be infectious. Come on, man.
Listen, I mean, we know about the people that got involved with Anthony Joshua's last fight, so I'm not really gonna go too much into that. But yeah, not very many people were all too interested in that bout, and that is almost why it looks like they're forced to go high as far as like who their next opponent is. For Anthony Joshua, that is.
Brother Eddie Hearn. Do I have to say any more than this? This is a guy who doubled down on Conor Bennett's bullshit.
You're right.
And now he's calling out Keith Thurman? Do I have to say any more than that?
I heard he also had some comments for Mr. Gervonta Tank Davis.
Oh, shit. Brother, you know what? You would have to pay to wipe the ass of Gervonta Davis right now. Brother, if he doesn't need Devin Haney, he certainly doesn't need your sorry ass. Oh, hey, be careful eating those omelets in the morning, brother. Jackass. So I tell you what, brother, let's calm down for a bit. I think my blood pressure is about 190 over 120 right now. And I'm being generous. So let's calm down a bit, right? Let's see. Let's end this on a high note, right? Because Devin Haney, he did an interview, which he should, right? Oh, hey, I got a notification and a private message from your boy Lefty. Still loyal to the soil, right?
Yep.
He asked me, so let's end this on this. Now we're bringing up Devin Haney.
All right.
He says, who you got, Joseph? Haney or Loma?
B, I've said this, since the fight was announced. I got Haney, coming up to, rising up to this occasion. I got Haney, doing his thing against Lomachenko. I don't think it'll be as close as, some people are, saying. I know that, this is still Vasily Lomachenko, the Hall of Famer, Vasily Lomachenko. But for Haney, this is a do or die for Haney. People are talking about, okay, this is the fight that he has been looking out for since 2019. He wanted that opportunity in 2019 and he didn't get it. So now here we are, fast forward, 2023, and I pretty much asked him this at his workout that happened a couple weeks ago. And he said, listen, Lomachenko missed out on, fighting a guy in Devin Haney at that particular level. Now Haney has the, experience. He has, faced the guys like, George Kambosos Jr., the Jojo Diaz Jr.'s and the Linares's and that type of thing, to kind of go through those different types of opponents and what to do against those different opponents in those different situations. Now he's a more experienced guy, a more, closer to complete fighter there at 135 pounds. And so, as he says that he was everything then and he's everything now. And I say, hey, I got Devin Haney getting the win, retaining the undisputed lightweight championships.
You know what? And most people are in that same train of thought, right? But I will say this. His success is going to largely depend on two variables, two intangibles, right? Is he going to be able to, one, is he going to be able to weigh in at 9 a.m. in the morning again and have a bullshit weigh-in ceremony later on that afternoon for the media and the fans? And two, is he going to be able to excessively hold like he did in his last two fights against Kambosos? Brother, in both fights, he held over 50 times. Both fights. Right? Is he going to be able to get away with that? I'll tell you what, I guarantee you, if I'm Team Haney, I'm lobbying for Kenny Bayless. Hey, man, you can still do it. Hey, even though you're 80, you can still do it. You're the best, man. You haven't slipped. You can still call these big events. You can still officiate these big events. If I'm Devin Haney, if I'm Bill Haney, that's exactly what I'm doing. Someone who's going to look the other way when he wants to slow dance and blow a kiss in Lomachenko's ear. Right? Because to be honest with you, James, that pretty much is the only chance that Lomachenko has of winning this fight, is to take advantage of the inadequacies that Haney has on the inside. Am I wrong about that?
Nope, you're not.
Yep.
But
so if you guys think, and this has become a popular narrative, if you guys think it's in Haney's best interest to force the action and push Lomachenko on his back foot because he's not as good competing on his back foot, poppycock. So that means you want someone who's deficient on the inside to force the action? That's never going to happen, brother. He's going to be happy trying to keep things from mid to long range as long as he can.
mm-hmm.
And when it comes time for Lomachenko to close the distance, boy, he's going to wrap him up like an octopus. Why would you want to fight this guy on the inside when you can't? When you can't do it proficiently.
That's a bad strategy.
Yep. So once again, guys, make no mistake about it. And he learned this the hard way against Jorge Linares. Oh, well, you know what? If I run out of gas, I'll just move the fight to mid-range. Well, it's very sporting of you against a future Hall of Famer like Vasily Lomachenko. But don't do it. Don't do it, brother. And what was Devin Haney's strategy when he got cracked and hurt in the 10th round against Jorge Linares?
Hold on.
Yeah, for the rest of the fight, the next 2.5 rounds, or the next 2 rounds, that's all he did. Stink out the joint, and you'll win a decision. Brother, listen to the smart people around you, and he does. I'm happy to say, and I'm happy to end this show this way. Devin Haney, he's young, but he listens to the smart people around him, including Bruce Trampler, including Brad Goodman, including Bob Arum, including his dad, including to the very smart boxing minds around him like Zab Judah, or Yoel Judah, rather. Floyd Mayweather. Right? He shuts the hell up and he listens. So he was in this interview with this jackass, a weightlifter, that wouldn't know a left hook from a fish hook, right? And this guy said, Now you're going to laugh when I tell you this. He said this in this extensive interview, right? And once again, forgive this gentleman. He's a mainstream fan, and he knows nothing about what it takes to be a prize fighter. He said, okay, well, I know you're undefeated, Devin, but what do you walk around at? What weight do you walk around at? Because if we were in a real fight, I would maul you and I would punish you. And Devin said, no. If this were a real fight, I would kill you. And it would only take one punch to do it. And he started laughing at Devin Haney. And Haney said, you know what? One, you don't know how to fight. Two, you're not used to taking punches. Okay?
That
You would
second
feel,
part.
and he said, oh, I've been hit before. And he goes, well, not from someone who knows how to throw a punch. He said it's very different. And trust me when I tell you this, okay? Because I'm a champion, an undisputed champion who's been fighting my entire life. Trust me when I tell you this, but the ability to take a good punch determines your successes and failures at the world-class level.
That's right.
Most people ignore that fact of boxing. But being able to take a punch, boy, that is a lot. Ask Danny Garcia. Ask Vitaly Klitschko. Ask Tyson Fury. You're going to get hit at the world-class level. You're going to get hurt. Ask Ryan Garcia. No, don't ask Ryan Garcia. He won't know. Brother, you're going to get hit. In the immortal words of Nassim Richardson, Brother Nassim, hey, swim, but don't get wet. That doesn't effing happen ever.
Right.
That doesn't happen. You're going to get hit. You're going to get hurt. It's the ability to take a good shot and to react favorably in adversity that defines your legacy. Am I wrong about that, James?
Nope. You're not.
So, you know what? My real man of genius tonight is Devin Haney for laying the smackdown on some ignorant YouTuber. And once again, he's doing the right thing, right? He's doing the right thing for promoting his brand and promoting the sport, promoting this fight to someone who doesn't know shit about boxing. He's doing the right thing, and he's saying all the right things, right? So I'll tell you what, Devin Haney, you wear the Big Daddy pants tonight. Congratulations, brother. You are, as far as I know right now, a great ambassador for the sport of boxing. Something I cannot say about Ryan Garcia, about Teofimo Lopez, or about Regis Prograis.
Did you say the Teofimo Lopez delusional train? Get on Delusional Express. I mean, yeah, that's it. The Teofimo Lopez Delusional Express.
Woo, woo! I tell you what, there are a lot of fighters who are going to be on that express a lot sooner rather than later. I wish they weren't. Chingao, brother. It pains me to see this because once again, think about all the talent that's currently being squandered on that express. Teofimo Lopez. In my opinion, he could have easily been one of the biggest stars of the sport had he listened to the very wise people around him.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Garcia, great looking kid, natural talent, but fundamentals, just throw them all out the window. Brother, like I said before, if you truly think that having a mole in your camp is why you lost, brother, you haven't got a clue. And then Regis Prograis, being humble as all get out, being such a likable guy, being really talented, one of the toughest sons of bitches that you will ever see in the ring. And then has a 10-cent head for business? Dude, then let the other guys handle it. Let your manager handle it. Let your trainer handle it. Let your promoter handle it. Oh my gosh, dude. It's such a waste of a career. You're right there with Demetrius Andrade in making one terrible decision regarding your business after another. Like over the last 10 years, James, can you think of two fighters who have made worse business decisions consecutively than Regis Prograis and Demetrius Andrade?
I can't.
Nope, it's hard to, isn't it? It's hard. So anyway, unfortunately, there is plenty of room on the delusional Teofimo Lopez Express. But guys, listen to the smart people around you. Don't listen to guys like Fanon or Fannin, right? Guys who just want to blow smoke up your ass because they don't know shit about the business. Guys, I'm 20 years in, and I've learned from some of the smartest minds in this sport. Okay? That's the only reason why I have the nerve and the confidence to tell you these things, because I know what I know. It took a lot of humility and took a lot of tongue lashing to get here. And I tell you what, it was a lot of freaking tongue lashing from both James Gogi and Emmanuel Stewart and Don Chargan. But that's the only way you learn. Be humble and listen to the very wise people around you. It pays dividends in the long run, guys. And those are my final thoughts. James, do you have any parting shots for all of our listening audience?
Just thanks for everyone for listening in here to the War Week Radio Network on the War Week Radio Chats. We went through a good number of topics here on this particular episode, and you got Mr. Joseph Herring on his rare rants. So I hope you enjoyed those rants from Brother Joseph Herring. We'll be following each of these fighters, and like he said, the Teofimo Lopez Delusional Express is off and running, and we'll see if more people join on, or maybe some people get into a gear and maybe get off of that train, but that remains to be seen. We'll see what happens with, as I say, Santos on Saturday, and we'll see how he moves forward with his career. And we have a lot of action coming up in the month of May, so I'm looking forward to that. And that's what I got.
James, you're always you're a credit to the boxing business. The often unfair, brutal, ass-beating business of boxing. Right? Keep doing what you do, brother. You have integrity, and you call it right down the line. I love that about you, brother. Don't ever change to please anybody. No promoter, no fighter, no one. Keep doing what you do, my friend. You're a credit to the business. And I don't say that about most people. So thank you, brother.
Yeah.
But and just know, if you get negative and delusional, like Teddy Atlas and Steve Kim, I'm going to let you know about it, brother.
Please.
And I can't even imagine that, though, brother.
Please do.
But
listen,
hey, you brought something up, though. You brought something up regarding Canelo Alvarez and this event coming up on Saturday, right? Apparently, this seems to be a hot topic for some reason. I have no idea why. Is Canelo still the face of boxing? Guys, no network, no promoter, no fighter can make that distinction. Guys, you determine that. You decide whether or not some fighter is going to be the face of boxing. You guys determine that alone. That is your responsibility and your privilege. Make the most of it. If you don't want to pay for this event, then you let everyone know why. Hey, you know what? I love Canelo. I think he is a great talent and a future Hall of Famer. Definitely a pound-for-pound fighter. But you know what? This fight should be on regular subscriber DAZN. Yeah. It's bad enough that we have to pay $25 for it. Now you want us to pay an additional $60? Go F yourself, Eddie. Go F yourself, brother. Because look at the undercard. You think we're going to purchase this event because of Gvatzik making his comeback? Hey, you better be fortunate that Superman is in retirement now. What, you going to call out Kolob next? So anyway, those are my thoughts. And once again, guys, don't lose sight of this privilege. You guys are the real bosses of boxing. That will never change. Okay? Take this responsibility seriously. And remember, you are the greatest ambassadors that this sport has. Okay? So put together a mainstream event. Host the fight at your house. In fact, probably better if you persuaded your neighbor to do it. And guess what? They're also paying for an expert commentator who can tell them what to look for. Talk about style matchups. Educate these guys. Because you guys are very, very intelligent fight fans. And the sport has faith in you. So don't worry about someone like Max Kellerman. Hey, is Tank Davis the new face of boxing? Well, that's up to you guys. He can pose as many questions as he wants, but that's not going to change a damn thing. Okay? Leonard Ellerby can tell you all night long how Tank Davis is the new face of boxing. But you know what? You guys have the final say for good reason. Right? Embrace it. You are the lifeblood of our fringe pastime in America. Embrace it. You guys are awesome, and you guys are the sole reason why both James and I do what we do. We love you guys. And keep supporting our beloved boxing. And keep being those great ambassadors of the sport. That's it. So, tell you what, James. So I'm going to ask you a question, brother. Before we leave. Is Canelo still the face of boxing? Woo!
Who knows?
Who knows? Well, I tell you what, guys. We didn't. My apologies, guys, because we got off on a very heated tangent in this show. So we didn't get to address all of our dear friends in the chat. My apologies. But here's a message for you, Joseph Brown, right? Thank you for listening to Gogi, for getting the round group bet of a Canelo knockout between 4 and 6. Because I guarantee it's going to pay dividends at a plus 300 on Saturday night. And there it is. James, you said you had an event to go to in DC. What is that?
This is a series here in Washington, D.C. area called Beltway Battles. This is promoted by Thomas Cornflake Lamana and also
Good
with
man.
Dusty Hernandez Harrison.
Yep.
They're the
Dusty's a great guy.
Yeah, two main promoters for the Beltway Battles events. This is installment number 4 in the series that is coming up. And that will be, headlined by Suleiman Sagawa, that will be in the ring there as he faces Basal Lopez. And then they're also going to have Rihanna Rios of Upper Marlboro, Maryland against Kara McLaughlin. So that is, two of the main fights. You also have Dominique Dimes Crowder, who is a, young guy that is coming up there in the bantamweight division, but I'm telling you, his frame is definitely not for bantamweight. And who is it? He is, definitely someone to watch out for. But that is Beltway Battles Round 4. That will also be on bxng.tv there. So that is, something, for, boxing fans to, look at those fights. Is, pretty much similar to like how Pro Box TV, post their fights, but Pro Box does theirs on YouTube, so you do have that. But yes, that is the next installment of Beltway Battles. That is round 4. There's going to be 2 more installments over the summer, with one going to be on June 24th. That is round 5, and June 24th, and then round 6 is going to be for August 19th. So they're definitely putting up a number of events there for the local fighters in the Washington, D.C. area.
I will say this, James, and once again, you're doing the right thing by supporting your regional events. That is the lifeblood of boxing, and that's where real fans are made, right? Like it's funny. The last time I actually was ring announcer for a regional event, I talked about a Canelo fight coming up, and they said, "Oh, we didn't know he was fighting. What channel is it going to be on?" And I said, "It's going to be on DAZN, a streaming app." Their response was, "What's DAZN?" Yeah. So once again, guys, we have a lot of work to do, just like these hardworking fighters, minus Ryan Garcia. We have a lot of work to do in forging this sport to be in the mainstream pastime that it once was. And it's going to take all of our collective effort, right? And James, you're doing the right thing, brother. But I will say this, if you can get by an hour of your time in DC, take your laptop with you, put on your headphones, and call the fight with me. Saturday night, I'm going to be here for the Warwick Radio Faithful, as well as my brother Ronnie Shields. I would love it if you would join me. And once again, it's just an hour. But I will say this. Can you imagine if Thomas Cornflake Lamana had the natural gifts of a Ryan Garcia?
He is a workhorse.
With his intelligence, with his humility, with his work ethic. Can you imagine? And that sums up this entire show in a nutshell now, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
So I tell you what, jackass, if you're waiting for some manager, trainer to give you that magic elixir, you're going to be waiting a long time, brother, because it starts with the guy you look at when you brush your teeth every morning. That's it. Guys, we want to thank you for joining us and hanging out with us. James, can you believe it's been 2 hours now?
2 hours. Yep.
Damn. Dude, I need to stop. I need to put some filter on this medulla. Damn. Can you imagine? Like, you know what? I might want to that's a damn shame, man. I hate smoking weed and I actually like my voice. That's, dude, one, I like being sharp, right? And two, I like my voice. I pride myself on being a good commentator and a ring announcer. And pot, weed, damages those vocal cords. So, guys, it's not magic smoke you're smoking. It has consequence. But I tell you what, it would do a lot for my non-filter now, wouldn't it? It would do a lot for my aggressive behavior on Warwick Radio Chats now, wouldn't it? But be that as it may, yeah, I'm drug-free, except for the sweet amber. James, you don't indulge ever, do you? You're a straight arrow, aren't you?
You're pretty much a straight arrow. I don't drink, that much, or, hit the trees that much, so.
Good for you, my friend. Good for you. And you know what? Once again, brother, I'm going to say this, and I can't stress this enough. Don't change to please anybody. Stay doing what you're doing. I'm in your corner. A lot of people are going to be in your corner who are and a lot of people are already in your corner. You're doing a great job, and you're doing this sport of boxing a great service. Keep doing what you're doing. Guys, and my apologies for not noting our dear friends in the chat, like Hyphy, like Peter Von Arx, like Tip Bayless, let's see, who else? Like Brother Juice, someone else, Brother Outlaw in the chat.
G Funky.
Well, I talked about G Funky. He's my brother. I would never. But once again, yeah, as soon as I go off, I forget about everyone in the chat. My apologies, guys. Our brother Sid UK, always very insightful. Also, our brother Khalid. Thank you for joining us, sir. And my apologies, man, for ignoring. And he even gave a big shout out, Chingao. Yeah. Thank you, my friend. I thank you for always being here. And also, last but not least, my dear friend Sean, prize fighter, part-time, who resides in Mexico City. God bless you, brother. You're always insightful, and your insight always means a lot to us. And also, my brother Anthony Manzano from Florida. Thank you for being with us, brother. And my apologies for not getting to more comments, right? And yeah, I think that's about it. But Brother James, what do you have? Are you going to do any more shows this week?
Possibly tomorrow. May do a show tomorrow, but I had to catch up on a few things with setting up interviews and things like that too. So and then Friday they're gonna have the weigh-in for the Beltway Battles event, and then Saturday is the actual event. So we'll see. We'll see how that plan goes.
Well, I tell you what, man, I really hope you do another show, because it's once again, you're very insightful, and your consistent effort and your frequent effort is going to make all the difference. So God bless you, brother. Thank you for being who you are, and thank you for providing so much insight into tonight's show. I couldn't do it without you, my friend. Yeah, and that's gonna just about do it. And thank you once again for breaking the news on this channel of July 8th, Virgil Ortiz versus Amanis Stanionis, and yes, hopefully 3 times a charm. Now we've crossed the 120-minute mark. I think that's about time. Thanks about time with it. We let you go. So enjoy your dinner tonight. Enjoy all of your time tonight, brother, and thank you for sharing the air with us all. We're all the better for it. Thank you, James. We appreciate it, my friend. Any parting shots at all?
No, we can continue the convo after this is done.
Excellent, brother. I look forward to it. God bless you, James. And once again, guys, if you haven't already, go subscribe to The Boxing Source and please frequent and bookmark theboxingsource.net. I got it right this time. Guys, on behalf of Brother James, I'm Joseph Heron. You've been listening to WAWR Week Radio. Have a great evening, everybody.
FightSaga.com and Halftime Pizza proudly present WAWR Week Radio Chats with ring announcer and commentator Joseph Heron.